Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, very happy and grateful to be here. See? Grateful for the opportunity to speak on the glories of Lord Vamana Dev. Every festival, every Vaishnava festival is an opportunity for us to remember the glories of Lord Krishna. So there are many incarnations of the Lord. Lord appear time to time. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttana madharmasya tadasmanam sujamiham. So millennium after millennium, Lord Krishna appears in this material. Also, it's continued by Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanardaya sambhavami yuga yuga. So why does Lord descend into this material world? So Krishna himself clearly says why he comes into this material world. He says Paritranaya sadhunam. The first reason he says is that to protect the sadhus or saintly people. And vinashaya cha dushkrutam. Dushkrutam means the miscreants, to punish the miscreants. That is the secondary reason, because to punish somebody demoniac, Krishna personally doesn't have to come. He has unlimited energies. Using any of these energies, he can destroy the demoniac people. But the primary reason why he comes is to protect the pious people, to enact his pastimes, to reclaim all the conditioned souls like us. Right? So paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya, to re-establish dharma or the religious principles. That's why he comes into this material world. millennium after millennium. Right? So there are, how many incarnations of the Lord are there? If I ask you a question, may I ask you a question? How many incarnations are there? 10? Everybody's okay with that number? 10, I guess. Roughly 10.
Unlimited, but also 10.
10. So it's a commonly known that Lord Krishna has only 10 incarnations. That's how, as we growing up in India, that's why we are told that there are 10 incarnations, which is called Dashavatar. Dasha means 10. 10 incarnations of the Lord. These are the prominent incarnations that were described by a saint called Jaydev Goswami. But there are unlimited incarnations of the Lord. If somebody asks you how many incarnations, there are unlimited. So it is like waves in the ocean. Can we count number of waves in the ocean? We cannot do that. Similarly, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has unlimited incarnations. However, a great saint, Jaydev Goswami, he compiled a song, he composed a song where he described only 10 incarnations. So Vamana Avatar is one of the prominent incarnations of the Lord. And today is Lord Vamana's appearance day. That's what we are going to describe or discuss the pastime. And Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter, he says that Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tatvataha Chaktva Deham Punar Janma Naiti Mameti Se Arjuna. So Krishna says that my Janma means birth, right? Karma means activities. My appearance and my activities are Divyam. Divyam means transcendental. So the difference between our birth and God's birth or appearance, how do we understand the difference? Is God's appearance same as our appearance? How are they different? How is it different? How is Lord's appearance is different from our birth? How is God's birth in this material world or appearance is different from our birth? You said no. Can you tell us how it is different?
He is Aja.
What is it?
He is Aja, unborn.
Unborn, but he still comes into this material world.
He's appearing.
He's appearing. Apparently he still takes birth, right? He had parents, Devaki and Devaki and Vasudev, right? And then even today we are discussing Vaman Avatar. He appeared to Kashyapa and Aditi. So apparently he took birth. He came here. But then how is Lord Krishna's appearance in this material world is different from our appearance or our birth? How is it different? Is there anything different or is it same? What is that? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
He's saying Krishna's is intentional, ours is unintentional.
Okay, our birth is unintentional, but Krishna's birth is intentional. Okay, wonderful, good point.
Ours is material body, Krishna's is transcendental.
Okay, so we take material body, but when Krishna comes, it is always transcendental body, right? It's Sachidananda, whether he is in the material world or spiritual world, wherever Krishna is, Krishna's body is always transcendental. It's not made with material elements that we are born, right? We are born with 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements. Yeah. So, but Krishna's body is not made with those 5 and plus 3, 8 elements. His body is always made with transcendental, Sachidananda Vigraha, right? So, spiritual body. Okay, that's wonderful. Anything else?
We cannot choose our form. Our parents.
Okay, so we cannot choose. Wonderful. That's what I'm. So we cannot choose our form. Our birth, we are forced to take birth in this material world based on our karma. We do not have a choice where to be born, which parents, what is the form, how should I look. We don't have any choice. We are bound by our karma. We are forced by our karma to take certain body, certain place, certain life. So all these things are determined based on our actions. We don't have any free will to choose. I want to be in this body. No, based on your activities, next life we may be human beings or some animal or whatever. That's how we are. But when Lord Krishna comes into this material world, it is completely by his own free, sweet free will. So he chooses when to appear, how to appear, where to appear, who should be his parents. He decides all that. There is no karma. He's not bound by any material laws for him. So that is a primary difference between our birth and Krishna's birth, Krishna's appearance in this material world. And that's the reason Krishna says, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. So my appearance and activities are transcendental. So if you understand this, if you understand Krishna's appearance and activities, then what happens? You will not come into this material world. You will not enter into another womb in this material world. That's what Krishna promises. So it is very important for us to understand the activities, because Krishna's activities appear to be normal. Like when he came himself as Krishna 5,000 years ago, when you look at his activities like a normal child, right? But you have to understand the deep meaning of each and every activity of Lord Krishna. Then only we will not come back into this material world. If you do not understand the position of Lord Krishna, then all these pastimes, whatever we are discussing today or what we have discussed in the past, all these pastimes appear to be very mundane. It doesn't make sense. That Krishna came as small child, he played in the courtyard, he did this. Any normal child also would do the same thing. Right? But the difference is that, for example, if you are going on a street and somebody is sweeping the street, you look at it and you don't really care. You don't care much about it. Because somebody is there, he was just sweeping the street. But if I come and tell you that he's the president of United States sweeping the street, what would be your reaction? Immediately there will be a lot of cameras, a lot of videos, a lot of everywhere social media, all these videos will be flying. If you understand the person who that is doing it, then we appreciate it more. Similarly, we have to understand the activities who is performing, then we can appreciate the pastimes of the Lord. We can glorify the Lord using these pastimes. And also in Srimad Bhagavatam, one of our scriptures, it's called Amala Purana, Spotless Purana. It is mentioned that Ya idam deva devasya harir adbhuta karmanaha avataranu charitam srinvan yati param gatim. So what this means, if one hears about the uncommon activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his various incarnations, he is certainly elevated to the higher planetary system or even brought back to Godhead. So when we hear all these pastimes of the Lord, different incarnations of the Lord, different pastimes of the Lord, what happens? Our heart gets purified. So we will be elevated to the higher planetary systems or to, we can go back to Godhead. So that's what Srimad Bhagavatam 8th Canto, 23rd chapter, 30th verse says. And also, one of the common questions that people ask is, why do bad things happen to good people? Right? That's very common question. I'm a good person. I have been doing so many pious activities throughout my life. I have never done any sinful activity, but still I'm suffering. So this is one of the common questions people ask. But if you look at Srimad Bhagavatam, it is not about why bad things have happened to good people. Bhagavatam speaks about when bad things happen to good people, how do they react? Okay. So yes, the answer is there. Why bad things happen to good people? We can simply say that it is because of the karma you are going through, based on your previous karma, you are going through these experiences. But however, Srimad Bhagavatam does not talk about why bad things are happening to good people. Bhagavatam talks about when bad things are happening to good people, how do they react? How do they approach to these problems? Yeah. So Parikshit Maharaj, there are so many examples in Srimad Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed to die in 7 days. Then what did he do? Did he panic? He took shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. He immediately left everything, all his possessions, everything, and he went to the banks of the Ganges, and then he started hearing the glories of the Supreme Lord, because he understood the essence of the life, what is the purpose of the life, and he wanted to dedicate his life to that particular purpose. So Parikshit Maharaj went through this. Prahlad Maharaj was put in so many difficulties. Then how did he react? Dhruva Maharaj put into difficulties. How did he react? So the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of stories, full of pastimes, how one should act when we are put in these difficulties. When bad things are happening, how we should behave. Instead of questioning why is it happening, we have to learn how one should behave. Right. So even in this Vamana pastime, Lord Vamana pastime is not complete, or we cannot discuss Lord Vamana's pastimes without discussing about Bali Maharaj. So there are primarily two characters in this pastime. One is Bali Maharaj, and another one is Vamana himself. So these are, without speaking about Bali Maharaj, we cannot speak about Vamana. Without speaking about Vamana, we cannot speak about Bali Maharaj. So there are two related topics here. And this Vamana pastime is discussed elaborately in about 9 chapters in the 8th canto. Very, very beautiful pastime. There's so much deep philosophy in this pastime, and also very beautiful, very attractive pastime that Lord has performed, right? So if you look at Bali Maharaj was not an ordinary personality. If you look at the family lineage of Bali Maharaj, so do you guys know was Bali Maharaj's father? Does anyone know?
Son of
Yeah. Bali Maharaj's father was Virochana. His name was Virochana. And Virochana's father was Prahlad Maharaj. So basically, Bali Maharaj was a grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj's father was Hiranyakashipu. And his uncle was Hiranyaksha. So best of the demons. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu were best of the demons. And Prahlad Maharaj was the best of the devotees, right? And Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu were born to Marichi, and Marichi was born to Brahma. So that is the lineage of Bali Maharaj, very glorious lineage. So from Brahma, Marichi, from Marichi to Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, and no, actually Kashyapa, sorry, Kashyapa and Diti. Then from there, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, from him, from Hiranyakashipu, then Prahlad Maharaj to Virochana, Virochana to Bali Maharaj. So that is a great dynasty of Bali Maharaj, right? And Bali Maharaj was, even though he was born in a demon family, but he was not demoniac. He was a great devotee of the Lord. So this pastime of Bali Maharaj and Vamana Dev started with an inquiry by Parikshit Maharaj. If you look at Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, it's full of questions and answers. It's not like a monologue where, Bhagavad Gita is not like a monologue where Krishna is speaking and Arjuna is listening. It's not like that. It is a conversation between two individuals, the conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam is full of questions and answers. So Maharaj Parikshit was inquiring every step. So then Sukadeva Goswami was answering all his questions. So that's how the entire Srimad Bhagavatam is. So here, even this Vamanadev pastime started with an inquiry by Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj asks, um, Supreme Personality of Godhead is the proprietor of everything. So Krishna is the proprietor of everything, right? Why did he beg 3 pieces of land from Bali Maharaj like a poor man? And not only that, he begged for 3 pieces of land or 3 steps of land. Not only after getting that, what did he do? When he got the gift for which he had begged, why did he nonetheless arrest Bali Maharaj? After getting these 3 pieces of 3 steps of land, he did not stop there. He arrested Bali Maharaj also. Yeah. So he arrested Bali Maharaj. And he wants to know why. Why did Lord Krishna do this? Why did he first of all beg for 3 pieces of land, 3 steps of land? After getting the 3 pieces of land, also he arrested Bali Maharaj. Why did he do that? I am very much anxious to know the mystery of these contradictions. So, Supreme Personality of Godhead means Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajantemo Buddha Bhava Samanvita. He says, I am the source of everything. Krishna is the source of everything. Everything is emanating from him. Then why such personality when everything belongs to him? Why he had to beg for 3 steps of land? Not even he's not asking for anything big, just asking for 3 steps of land. On top of getting that land, after begging also, then he arrested Bali Maharaj. So isn't it surprising? Isn't it something to think about? Strange, right? So why did he do that? That's what Parikshit Maharaj inquires. So in the spiritual life, as we are progressing in the spiritual life, we all should have that eagerness to learn. Only when we are eager, these pastimes appear to be fresh and fresh. Otherwise, if you think that I already know the pastime, then we cannot really progress in the spiritual life. See, Krishna is unlimited. He is ever fresh. His pastimes are ever fresh. That is the difference between whatever is happening in the material world and what is happening in the spiritual world. All the pastimes of Krishna are always fresh. So even if you hear 10,000 times, still it is fresh because you always can learn something out of these pastimes, right? So that's how the pastime of Vamanadev Bali Maharaj starts in Srimad Bhagavatam. So once upon a time, demigods were headed demigods were headed by Lord Indra. Indra is king of all the demigods in the heavenly planets. Once Lord Indra was going on an elephant, Airavat, and then he meets Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni gives his garland to Indra, and Indra did not respect that garland and he puts it onto his elephant. So elephant doesn't understand what this garland is, and the elephant tramples the garland. So that particular action, Durvasa Muni did not like it. So because Indra was puffed up because of the pride with so much wealth and opulence, he did not give much attention to the garland that was given by Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni curses Indra to become poverty stricken, that all his opulences should go away. So that was a curse that was given by Durvasa Muni. And also the demigods headed by Indra, they did not pay attention to their spiritual master Brihaspati once. So because of that also they lose all the power. Now looking at the situation of all the demigods lost all power because of Durvasa Muni's curse, and also they did not give proper attention to their spiritual master. They lost all power because of that also. By looking at the situation, the demons, they wanted to attack heavenly planets. So they go and attack heavenly planets and they defeat Indra and all the demigods. So during that time, Indra and demigods, they go and take shelter of Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma directs them to Lord Vishnu. Even I cannot do anything at this point because you disrespected your spiritual master. On the other side, the demons headed by Bali Maharaj and all these demons, they showed a lot of respect to their spiritual master. That's why they regained the power. So at this point, I cannot do anything. You better approach Lord Vishnu. So they all go and approach Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu says that this is not the time. Everything has a time. So right now, the time is in favor of all the demons. You make a truce with demons, and I'll tell you the plan. You make a truce with demons and go and churn this milk ocean. So demigods, being the devotees of the Lord, they accept the proposal of the Supreme Lord, and they wanted to start churning this milk ocean with a huge mountain, right? But then demigods cannot do this alone because it's a huge, gigantic mountain, right? It's like several miles long, high, hundreds of thousands of miles. So then they make truce with demons. See, if you think about demons and demigods, they are equally powerful. Demons are also extremely powerful. The difference is the demigods use their power and opulences in the service of the Lord, and demons do not. They do not, they are envious of the Lord. That's the difference between demons and demigods. Otherwise, demons are extremely powerful. So, knowing their power, demigods make truce with demons. They both together, they start churning the milk ocean. So, after the milk ocean is churned, from the milk ocean, the nectar comes, right? And then, to distribute this nectar, then Lord Vishnu himself appears as Mohini Murti. Mohini Murti, just imagine the beauty of Mohini Murti. That is Lord Vishnu himself. So extremely beautiful, right? And Mohini Murti distributes entire nectar to only demigods. Because of her beauty, all these demons, they get mesmerized. And with sweet words that were spoken by Mohini Murti, they just sit there. Mohini Murti talks to each and every demon very nicely, but finally, Mohini Murti serves entire nectar to only demigods. So once demigods get all this power, then they start attacking all these demons again. And they started killing all the demons left and right, all the demons, including Bali Maharaj. When Bali Maharaj gets killed by Indra, all these demigods. So now they were on that spree of killing all the demons. All the demigods were going and massacring, killing all the demons. At that point, Lord Brahma intervenes and says, "Enough is enough. Okay, you got the nectar. You don't have to kill all the demons." And he sends this message through Narada Muni. So Narada Muni comes and stops the demigods to stop all this nonsense. And then the guru of the demons is Shukracharya. Okay. Shukracharya takes all these dead bodies of the demons, including Bali Maharaj, and Shukracharya knows how to give the life again using Sanjeevani mantra. So he gives them life back to all these demons, including Bali Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj becomes extremely grateful because his life was taken away, but then Shukracharya gave life back to Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj becomes extremely grateful to Shukracharya and he starts serving Shukracharya with so much gratitude. Right? He wanted to listen to Shukracharya for everything. But at the same time, Bali Maharaj was extremely angry with the demigods because they have taken their kingdom. They started, things, and also Vishnu cheated by giving entire nectar to only demigods. So Bali Maharaj was angry against demigods. So that's what was going on, right? And then um, Shukracharya instructs Bali Maharaj to perform some sacrifices, all the yajnas, and also to please all the brahmanas. And this particular yajna is called Vishwajit yajna. As the name suggests, Vishwa means the world, entire universe. Jit means to conquer. So this particular yajna is called Vishwajit yajna. If somebody performs this, they can conquer the entire universe. So Shukracharya instructs Bali Maharaj to perform this particular sacrifice. And Bali Maharaj completely, does this sacrifice very nicely, very sincerely, and he satisfies all the Brahmanas. Because of that, he gains again a lot of power. And as soon as that sacrifice is done, the Vishwajit sacrifice is done, from that sacrificial fire, a beautiful chariot comes up with beautiful horses, and then a quiver with full of arrows, very powerful, right? And then all these things are given as gift to Bali Maharaj from the sacrifice. So immediately Bali Maharaj takes this chariot, and he becomes very very effulgent. Bali Maharaj becomes beautiful, extremely effulgent, and he gets all the power to conquer the entire universe. So now he wanted to go and attack Indraloka, or the heavenly planets again, because he wants to become emperor of entire universe everywhere, right? So with that ambition, he starts going towards Indrapuri. So then, as he was coming to Indraloka, this news reaches Indra. So now Indra is, even just by looking at Bali, he was scared. He could not even look at Bali Maharaj, because that was the strength, that was the effulgence of Bali Maharaj, because of this Vishwajit Yajna, right? So Indra immediately, he goes to his spiritual master, Brihaspati, and says that, Bali Maharaj is coming. So what should I do? Looks like I cannot deal with this situation right now. And Brihaspati immediately says that you cannot do anything. You cannot fight with Bali Maharaj at this point. I advise all of you to run away from this place right now. Just run away and hide in different places. You cannot fight with Bali Maharaj, because Brihaspati understands the power of Bali Maharaj. Right? So, how did the lesson that is to learn from this pastime, from this particular this thing is that section is that one who follows the instruction of the spiritual master, they are always victorious. They become victorious. So, following the instructions of the spiritual master is extremely, extremely important for us to go back to spiritual world, for us to practice spirituality. Everything depends on how we satisfy our spiritual master, right? So, and here, because Bali Maharaj was serving his spiritual master and all the Brahmanas, he got all the powers. They satisfied him, so that's why he got all the powers. So he goes there, and then all the demigods, headed by Indra, they run away from the place. Now Bali Maharaj takes over Indraloka, all the heavenly planets. He takes over the control of all the heavenly planets. Now what happens? No demigod is visible in the heavenly planets now. Everything is occupied by Bali Maharaj and all these demoniac people. By seeing this, who is the mother of demigods? Mother of demigods is Aditi, right? And father is Kashyapa Muni. Okay. So Kashyapa Muni had two wives, Aditi and Diti. So through Diti, all these demons were born, and through Aditi, all the demigods were born. That's why the children that were born to Aditi are called Adityas. So those are all demigods. By looking at the situation of all the demigods, including Indra and all other demigods, because being a mother, Aditi was feeling very sad. Just imagine a person who is the king of heavenly planets, who is controlling all the demigods there in the heavenly planets. Now he ran away, and he is hiding somewhere, and he is living a meager life. So by looking at the situation of the demigods, Aditi was not at all happy. She was feeling morose. So during that time, Kashyapa, the husband of Aditi, he was doing some sacrifice. He was always meditating upon the Lord, and he was doing all the sacrifices. So after performing several sacrifices for several years, then he comes home. Then he sees the situation with Aditi and asks, "What happened to you? Why are you like this? Why are you so morose? There is no happiness. Did you not take care of the guests properly? Did you not do charity very well?" So that's how the Grihasthashram is. In the Grihasthashram, one is supposed to act in that way. He did not ask anything else. He asked, "Did you not do any charity properly? Did you not give charity to Brahmanas? Did you not take care of the guests?" So these were the questions that were asked by Kashyapa Muni to Aditi. So Aditi then says the situation that, so because of Bali Maharaj, all our sons, headed by Indra, everybody ran away from this opulences of heavenly planets, and they are hiding somewhere else. By looking at their situation, I am feeling very bad. I cannot see this. And at that point, Kashyapa Muni, gives philosophy about, we are not this body, these are all temporary and things like that. But after giving all this philosophy also, Aditi was not satisfied, because still she wanted their sons because of the attachment towards the sons. And she says that, "I want Bali to be killed, all the demons to be killed, and we want all this opulence to go to Indra and all the demigods." If you look at it, both are brothers actually. Bali Maharaj and Indra, these are all brothers. They are same father but born to two different mothers. So one mother is asking to kill the children of other mother. That's a situation of the conditioned world. She was representing our conditioned nature, because everything we do is because of the attachment of our children. Everything is me, mine. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Meaning everything revolves around me, myself, and my family. We are all in this selfish nature. That's what our nature is here, right? So even Aditi was asking for their children that they should get all this power, opulence, everything back from that. Then Kashyapa Muni, knowing the situation, he tells that there is not much I can do, but there is one person who can satisfy your desires, who can fulfill your desire. That is Lord Vishnu. So I will suggest a vrata or sacrifice. If you perform this sacrifice properly, and he gives entire, how to do that vrata. It's called Payo vrata. If you do this vrata for 12 days continuously, and there is so much austerity that needs to be done, how this vrata needs to be performed, um, Kashyapa Muni gives these instructions to Aditi. If you perform this, Supreme Lord will be satisfied. So then Aditi, she does this sacrifice for 12 days with sincerity and following so many rules and regulations, morning waking up and performing all these different rituals to satisfy Lord Vishnu. She does very, very rigorously and sincerely. And end of the vrata, Lord Vishnu appears. And then she asks for this boon that Bali should be killed and entire this heavenly planet should go back to Indra. So Lord Vishnu himself says that, again, time is on the side of Bali. At this point, we cannot do that. We cannot kill Bali Maharaj. We cannot do all this. However, in due course of time, I will take care of this. I will become your son and fulfill your desires. I understand, because Krishna is there in the heart of every living entity, right? So I understand your desire. I understand why you did this yajna or sacrifice. I will personally come and take care of fulfill your desires, right? So, and after that, in the due course of time, Aditi gives birth to Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vamana Dev. So Vamana Dev, when he first appears, he appears as a four-handed Narayan form. He does not appear like a normal baby. Like when Krishna appeared also to Devaki, how did he appear? He appeared with, right, as with four-handed Narayan form. That's how he appeared. Similarly, then Devaki and Vasudev had to pray and worship Vishnu, and then he became two-handed form of Krishna. Similarly, Krishna appeared as Vamana Dev, but before that he appeared as a four-handed Narayan form. Okay, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, with all four hands, with all these things he came, right? But then he took a form of a dwarf, small little dwarf. So then he appeared, and as soon as he appeared, then all the demigods showered, the showered flowers on Lord Vamandev, because they understand that this is not an ordinary personality. Lord himself came as Vamanadev. And then sun god personally gave uttered the Gayatri mantra, because he came as a Lord as a Brahmin, right? So Vamanadev is a Brahmin. He was born to Kashyapa and Aditi like a Brahmin boy. So in the Upanayana ceremony, Brahmin thread was given. Gayatri mantra was given to Vamanadev by sun god himself. Brihaspati offered sacred thread. Kashyapa Muni offered straw belt, and Mother Earth gave him a deer skin to wear. And different personalities, great personalities, offered different things to Vamanadev. And Lord Vamanadev, being the supreme personality of Godhead, was extremely, extremely beautiful, very beautiful, effulgent person, effulgent personality. And Lord Brahma offered a water pot, a kamandalu. So if you look at sadhus, they wear one, they take one kamandalu or water pitcher. So Lord Brahma himself gave that water pot, and Mother Saraswati gave him rudraksha beads, and Mother Parvati gave him the first alms because they are supposed to beg. These brahmanas are supposed to beg. So Mother Parvati gave him the first alms to Vamanadev. And as soon as Vamanadev appeared, he got all these things. What did he do? He did not spend time with his family or parents, or he did not do all that. He immediately left because he came for a purpose. The purpose is to go and get the kingdom, all the entire heavenly planets back to Indra. That is his purpose here. So he immediately goes to Bali Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj at that time he was performing a sacrifice near Narmada river. So Bali Maharaj, along with Shukracharya, all other his demoniac associates, demon associates, everybody was there, and Bali Maharaj was performing this great sacrifice, right? Then Vamanadev enters into that sacrificial arena. So as soon as Vamanadev comes there, Bali Maharaj, being a grandchild of Prahlad Maharaj, he understands all the etiquette. He knows the principles, religious principles. So, see, if you look at Bali Maharaj, even though he is born in the demoniac family, but he's not a demon. He's not like Ravana. He's not like Hiranyakashipu, right? Where they did not uphold religious principles. But whereas Bali Maharaj, even though born in the demoniac family, he was upholding all the religious principles. Like Vibhishana. Vibhishana was born in, he was a brother of Ravana, but still he was a devotee. Similarly, even though Bali Maharaj was in this lane, but he was upholding all the religious principles. So as soon as he saw Vamanadev, because he's a Brahmin, immediately he gave asana where to sit. He gave a seat, nice seat to Vamanadev, and he washed his feet. And after doing all this, after receiving him properly with proper etiquette and serving him properly with proper mood, then Bali Maharaj asks Vamanadev, how can I serve you? What can I give you? Please ask me. Whatever you want, I will give you. That's what Bali Maharaj says, right? And then Vamanadev, when Bali Maharaj asked for this, you ask anything, whatever you want, I will give you. By getting satisfied with Bali Maharaj, how Bali Maharaj treated him, the way Bali Maharaj worshipped Vamanadev, right? He washed his feet, put his water on his head. So, and then he says, O king of Daityas. Daityas means the demons born to Diti. They are called Daityas. The children born to Aditya are called Adityas. So that's why Vamanadev refers to Bali Maharaj as O king of Daityas. So from your majesty, who come from such a noble family and who are able to give charity munificently. So all his father and great grandfather, everybody gave charity left and right, right? So they were very, very charitable. So they were giving so much charity. But I only ask for 3 steps of land, 3 pieces of land. That's what Vamanadev asks. So Vamanadev is a dwarf, by the way. He's not a gigantic personality. He's just a dwarf, very small, right? And he is asking only for 3 pieces of land, which are, he also says, measurement of my steps. That's what he asks. And Bali Maharaj gets really surprised. Because before giving this, Vamanadev speaks so much philosophy also, right? Then Bali Maharaj says, you spoke like an intelligent person, but it doesn't look like you are an intelligent person. You are asking only for 3 steps of land. It is like, the world's richest person comes to us, right? Whether it is Bill Gates or, whoever, right? And he comes and says, I will give you whatever you want. It's like asking for $10. Does it make any sense? If Bill Gates comes and says that I'll give you whatever you want, ask whatever you want, do we ask for a $10 or $5 bill? We don't ask. That appears to be a foolishness. So Bali Maharaj also says, he tells Vamana Dev, you talk like an intelligent person, but it doesn't appear that you are intelligent. You are just asking for 3 pieces of land. If you ask me, if you ask me what to speak of these 3 pieces of land, I will give you entire planet. Whatever you want, entire planet, I can give you any planet, whatever you want. But you are asking for just 3 pieces of land. So then, because remember, Bali Maharaj is the proprietor of all 3 worlds now, because he became an emperor of everything, right? That's why he could say that he could do anything and everything for um, Vamanadev. So then Vamanadev says, it's a very, very profound statement. He says, oh, my dear king, even the entirety of whatever there may be within the 3 worlds to satisfy one's senses cannot satisfy a person whose senses are uncontrolled. So he says that if you have uncontrolled senses, if your senses are uncontrolled, whatever you get within these entire 3 worlds, upper, lower, middle planetary systems, anything that is given to you, if your senses are uncontrolled, not controlled, you cannot be satisfied. That's what Krishna says, or Vamandev says to Bali Maharaj. One should be satisfied with whatever he achieves by his previous destiny. For discontent can never bring happiness. A person who is not self-controlled will not be happy even with possessing the 3 worlds. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the 16th chapter, 21st verse, Trividam narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atmanaha kama krodhas tata lobhas tasmadeta trayam jatit. So what this means, there are 3 gates to hell. If one wants to go to hell, there are 3 gates. Right? So Trividam narakasyedam. There are 3 gates to hell. What are these 3 gates? Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Kama means lust. Krodha means anger. And Lobha means greed. These are the 3 gates to hell. If one is under the influence of these 3 things, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, it's guaranteed that they will go to hell. So greed is such a thing. It is mentioned that there is a statement, there is enough in the world for everyone, to satisfy everyone. But there is not enough in the world to satisfy one person's greed. There is enough in the world to satisfy everybody's need, but there is not enough in the world to satisfy one person's greed. So greed is extremely dangerous. How much ever we get, we are not satisfied. We want to get more and more and more and more. Right? That's the nature of the greed. Especially the material greed, it's like an itch. When there is an itch, we try to, so if there is something on your body, we try to itch it. But does it satisfy? Then you feel like itching more and more on that. Right? So only when you take proper medication, that will stop. Similarly, this entire material world, we are trying to enjoy here. Right? That's what. So once somebody, Prabhupada asked, what is the goal of life? What is the goal of life? If somebody asks you, what is the goal of life? Sir, would you like to say something? What's the goal of life? Serve God. Okay. Wonderful. Any other answers? What is the goal of life? What are we trying to do? That's the goal of life. What do you do after going back to Godhead? Where do you want to go to Godhead? What happens when you serve? Right. So anybody else? Anybody would like to say anything? What is the goal of life? Our life, what are we trying to do? What are we trying to achieve? Yeah.
Serve Krishna.
To serve Krishna. Yes, wonderful. Yes, definitely. That is the real purpose of the life. But ultimately, the goal of life is to enjoy. Enjoy. We are all, our goal is to really enjoy. Everybody's goal is to enjoy. But the problem is we are trying to find the enjoyment in a wrong place, in a wrong way. So like you said, serve Krishna, serve God, right? So by serving, what are we achieving? Happiness. Ultimately, that's what we want. We want happiness. Everybody wants happiness. Everybody wants enjoyment. The goal of life is to enjoy. But the problem is we are trying to enjoy in a wrong place in a wrong way. So it is like putting a fish out of the water and putting on the land. Even if you make a bed of roses for the fish, fish can never be happy. Only you have to put that fish back into the water. That's when the fish is happy. Similarly, our nature is to enjoy. We are Sachidananda. Satchit Ananda. We are eternal. We are full of bliss. Ananda Mayo Vyasat. Our nature is to enjoy. You cannot take out enjoyment from the soul. That's what we are meant for. We are to enjoy. But our enjoyment comes only by serving the supreme enjoyer. We cannot be the independent enjoyers. We can never be the independent enjoyers. We are part and parcel of a huge machine, right? Like screws and nuts of huge machine, right? Or if you satisfy the the root of the tree, entire tree is satisfied. Every leaf and every branch gets satisfied. Similarly, only when we give enjoyment to Krishna, then we become satisfied, we become happy. So our enjoyment is there only when we give enjoyment to Krishna. So right now we are trying to enjoy, but in a wrong place, by wrong methods. We are serving wrong people, wrong things. That's how our enjoyment is also very very limited and temporary, and we are not able to experience that enjoyment, right? So the goal is to enjoy. So that enjoyment come only by serving Krishna, and we should not be greedy about all these material things. When you serve whatever we have to engage that in the service of the Lord. There is nothing wrong in obtaining possessions, there is nothing wrong in getting the opulences and everything, but the principle is that how do I engage all these things in the service of the Lord? That gives happiness, right? So sometimes people say that, why should I follow all these rules and regulations? There are so many rules and regulations to follow in the spirituality. I want to be free. Like when you look at a lot of people, they say that, no, you guys have so many rules and regulations. You don't eat this, you don't eat that. You have to chant 16 rounds. You have to wake up in the morning. There are so many regulations, conditions. I want to be free. I want to have a free life. I want independence, right? I want free will. But does people really have the free will, the independence? Once there are two dogs discussing. One dog is a street dog or stray dog, and other dog has a collar. It's owned by some owner. So the street dogs looks at the stray dog looks at the other dog, which is owned by a person, and laughs at, says, you don't have any freedom. You see, you have a collar. Your owner is always carrying you. But look at me. I can freely wander around wherever I want. I can go wherever I want. I have freedom. I can eat whatever I want. But you don't have the choice. That's what the stray dog says. And this pet dog, laughs at the stray dog and says, where are you sleeping? You are sleeping on the road. You are sleeping on the streets. Where am I sleeping? My master gives me make nice arrangements. I live in a AC, air conditioned house. My master gives me a nice bed where I sleep comfortably, and he gives a nice food, right? He gives me nice food, he gives me nice shelter. Right? Even though it appears that I have a collar, he's controlling me, but I am getting all these benefits. And if something happens to me tomorrow, who is going to take care of me? My master is there to take care of me. But if something happens to you, who is there to take care of you? There's nobody to take care of you, right? Not only that, especially in United States, here in America, dogs have more luxury. They enjoy more because the owner is driving the car, and who is enjoying in the back? The dog is sitting in the back seat, happily looking here and there, enjoying the car ride. But the driver is working very hard, right? So is it better to become a pet dog or a street dog? Apparently, it appears that street dog has more freedom, but who is having more fun? Who is having more freedom eventually to enjoy? There is somebody to take care of this pet dog. Similarly, one has to become a servant of the Lord, even though it appears that we are having this is like a collar for us, right? So it appears that we are having these rules and regulations, but these rules are important for us to get the freedom, ultimate freedom. To achieve ultimate freedom, we have to achieve ultimate freedom and experience the independence. We have to go through some rules and regulations. By that, we become a pet dog of the Lord, Supreme Lord. So then we don't have any fear about anybody, anything, right? So we know that Krishna is going to take care of his devotees. So that's the reason one has to follow these rules and regulations, follow the spirituality to satisfy the senses of the Lord, so that our senses will get satisfied. So Vamanadev says that if you are not satisfied with whatever you have, then whatever is you get, whatever you get, even entire three worlds given to you, you will not be satisfied because of the greed. So Vamanadev says that okay, these three pieces of land is good enough for me, right? So then Bali Maharaj laughs at Vamanadev and he says, okay, I will give you this three pieces of land. I promise you, I'll give you three pieces of land. At that point, his spiritual master, Shukracharya, stops Bali Maharaj. Do not do this. Do you know what you are dealing with? Do you know who you are dealing with? First of all, how can you promise that you will give everything? The person who came here is none other than Vishnu. He's going to snatch away everything from you. With his two steps, he's going to take entire material universe. With two steps, he takes all the lower planetary systems and higher planetary systems. And what would you do for the third step? There's nothing for you to give. So if you break his promise, you will eternally go to hell. So do not give charity to this Brahmin. That's what Shukracharya warns Bali Maharaj. Right? He gives 9 reasons. I don't know what is the time right now. Are we? Okay, I'll try to message 1 hour, right? So maybe another 10 minutes we should try to end this. So Shukracharya gives 9 reasons why Bali Maharaj should not give charity. He says that this boy is none other than Lord Vishnu and has appeared to fulfill the desires of the Devatas. He came here to get all the appliances and to fulfill the desires of the Devatas. Your promise will bring great inauspiciousness to all the asuras because you are giving away everything. You know, you can take everything, so you will not have anything. So it brings great inauspiciousness. Lord Vishnu will take away all your wealth and give it to Indra. How will you live if everything is taken away from you? Where will you live? What happens to you? So don't give charity like this. Right? And you cannot even fulfill your promise because with 2 steps, Vishnu will take away everything. So then you cannot fulfill your promise of giving 3 steps. So what will you do? You will go to hell. Eternally, you will go into hell. Right? So, like that, he gives 9 reasons uh, to Bali Maharaj to not give charity to Vamanadev. Then because Shukracharya is a great spiritual master, he's not an ordinary personality also, right? So he can understand who came and what is going on. He could see all that, right? So then Bali Maharaj, being the descendant of Prahlad Maharaj, he is undeterred to give the charity to Vamanadev. And he gives 9 reasons. He says that I am the grandson of the glorious Prahlad Maharaj. I made a promise, how can I withdraw? So my ancestors, everybody gave so much charity. So being a grandson of Prahlad, a pure devotee of the Lord, how can I break my promise? I cannot withdraw my promise. I already made the promise. There is nothing more sinful than untruthfulness. Okay? I don't fear hell, poverty, distress, even death as much as I fear cheating a Brahmana. Because he's a Brahmana, I gave my word. I'm willing to go to hell also, but I cannot break my promise, right? And also he says that wealth is detached at the time of death. At the time of death, what can we take really? You know, death means whatever we have throughout our life, at the time of death, everything is taken away. We don't own anything at that point. After death, we cannot say that, you know, I own this palatial building or I have $1,000,000. There's nothing. At the time of death, everything is taken away anyway. So why should I worry about my wealth? Right? Even the great souls like Dadichi, Shibi, they sacrificed their own lives for to give charity. Shibi Maharaj and Dadichi gave his entire body, the bones, so that Indra could make Vajrayudha. The powerful Vajrayudha was made by Dadichi's bones. He gave his body. He sacrificed his. And Shibi Maharaj was giving his body, completely body as a charity. He was cutting his flesh and giving as a charity to a bird. So all these great personalities did everything like that. So why should I break my promise? Right? And becoming poverty stricken by such charity is more auspicious than having all this wealth and breaking my promise. And even if it is Vishnu who is here, that is even better. So it is more auspicious to give this charity to Vishnu. What else is more glorious than giving this charity to Vishnu if Vishnu himself is coming? right? So that's what Bali Maharaj says. And here one lesson is, if the spiritual master is not giving proper instructions, which will not help you to go towards spirituality or towards Krishna, then one can disobey the spiritual master's instructions at that point. So one should not blindly follow the instructions of a spiritual master. We have to surrender our life to spiritual master, but at the same time, one should not blindly follow the instructions of a spiritual master. One has to be, the spiritual master's instructions should align with Shastra, the scriptures and sadhus. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. These three should be aligned when we follow the instructions of the spiritual master. Once, there was a spiritual master, a guru. He had several disciples, right? Somebody says that, we have to follow the instructions of the spiritual master, and these disciples were blindly following everything, all the instructions, whatever the spiritual master says, they were following the instructions, right? They wanted to follow. They were not using their intelligence. They surrendered their intelligence also. So once what happens, this guru was going on a bullock cart. Okay, some of you may have seen the bullock carts in India. So he was going on a bullock cart, and with a lot of luggage, everything, right? And all the disciples were walking right behind this cart. The guru was sitting in the cart with so much luggage and other items, and the disciples were walking behind the cart. So they were going, everything was going fine. And the guru, he wanted some item from one of the luggages. So he was looking for the bag. And he asks disciples, what happened to this bag? I remember putting this bag in the cart. Now I don't see it. What happened? So the disciples say, just a few minutes ago, the bag fell down from the cart. Then Guru asks, why didn't you pick it up? If the bag fell from the cart, you were supposed to pick it up and put it back. Then the disciples say that, you did not give that instructions to us. So that's why we didn't care. So he said, okay. Then, the Guru understands that, okay, they are following instructions very strictly, because I did not tell them to pick it up. They did not pick up. Right? So he says, he gives instructions to disciples. From now onwards, whatever falls down from this, you have to pick up and put it in the cart. Disciple says, yes, that's fine. Then after some time, Guru was feeling some smell, bad odor in the cart. Then looks around and sees that there is a lot of cow dung in the cart. Then Guru asks the disciple, what is this cow dung? Where did this come from? The disciple say that you just gave the instruction that whatever falls from this cart, you have to put it back. So the cows were dropping cow dung. So since it is falling down from the cart, we are putting back the cow dung. So now the entire cart is full smell. Then the Guru says, oh my God, what is going on? So I missed this. Yeah, then he says that do not pick up everything that drops from this cart. Only whatever I tell, you pick up. Otherwise, you don't pick up anything. Okay? So now Guru thought that instruction is very clear. First, there was no instruction. Then he says, whatever falls down, you have to pick it up. Then third instruction Guru gives is that I will tell you these items, if they fall, then pick it up and put in the cart. So Guru thought very clear instruction. After some time, because of the road was bumpy, the Guru falls down. And the disciples start going, continue going without picking up the Guru. Then the Guru says, what happened? Why are you not picking me up? Then the disciple said that you are not in this list. She told, you gave us the list of things that fall down, then you pick it up. But you are not there in the list. So the point is that one has to use their intelligence. When spiritual master is giving instructions, one has to use intelligence to fulfill that. One cannot blindly simply take that instruction as it is. Okay? One has to surrender, but not surrender their intelligence. Right? So Bali Maharaj, he did not want to surrender to Shukracharya at that point, because he understands that whatever Shukracharya was telling is not right. It's not according to the religious principles. So he rejected Shukracharya at that point. And Shukracharya was not happy, and he curses Bali Maharaj that all your opulences should go away. You will become poverty stricken. That was the curse that was given by Shukracharya. So, but then, Bali Maharaj tells Vamana Dev that, okay, I want to fulfill my promise. So 3 steps of land, please go ahead and take, right? Then Vamanadev immediately he expands himself. He becomes a gigantic form. He occupies entire 3 worlds: upper planetary system, the earthly planets, and the lower planetary system. Everything expands such a huge, gigantic form, and with his 1 feet, he occupies entire lower planetary system. And the second step, he occupies all the higher planetary systems, everything in the entire universe. So now Vamanadev asks Bali, okay, I asked for 3 steps. 2 steps, I covered everything now. So where should I keep my third step? What would you do? Are you going to break your promise? Where should I, how are you going to fulfill this promise that you are going to do 3 steps? Then at that point, Bali Maharaj says that, of course, there is so much philosophical discussion that happens between Bali Maharaj and also Vamanadev. Very, very beautiful narration. One should read all the purports and the verses from the 8th canto. There are 8 chapters, very extremely beautiful, very philosophical. And then finally, Bali Maharaj says that, you put your feet on my head. So he was willing to go to even hellish planets or wherever Lord wants him to go. Right? So if you understand this, no one can really give anything to the Lord because everything belongs to Lord. Because Krishna is the owner of everything. Everything belongs to Krishna. Once one very, very rich, wealthy man came to Prabhupada, is very, very rich, right? So he comes to Prabhupada and says that, Prabhupada, what can I give to Krishna? That's how his attitude was. He says, what can I give to Krishna? Then Prabhupada says, yeah, what can you really give to Krishna? You cannot really give to anything to Krishna, right? What we can give to Krishna is the feeling that I owe everything. That is when you have to surrender. It's not that you are surrendering everything. So you have to surrender your ego, that everything belongs to me. That thought process has to be surrendered. Nothing belongs to us. There's nothing that belongs to us. Everything belongs to Krishna. So only when we surrender our ego, thinking that this belongs to me, that has to be given up. Right? So whatever we have to engage in the service of the Lord. Right. So and then because of the charitable nature of Bali Maharaj, and Bali Maharaj is willing to surrender everything to Vamanadev, Vamanadev gives him a boon that entire Sutala Loka. Sutala Loka is one of the lower planetary systems. Right? There are 14 planetary systems in a universe, right? And we are in the middle planetary system called Bhurloka. Okay? And upper planetary systems are called heavenly planets. And the planets below Earth, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Patala. These are the 7 planetary systems, which are and out of these, Vamanadev gives entire Sutala Loka to Bali Maharaj. He says that Sutala Loka is much better than even heavenly planets, even the Indra's planet. So he becomes Sutala Loka, Bali Maharaj becomes king of Sutala Loka. Not only that, because Vamanadev was satisfied with the attitude of Bali Maharaj, he says that not only I am giving you the entire Sutala Loka to rule, but I personally will become the doorkeeper of the Sutala Loka. So, so that is the benediction that is so much glorious that Vishnu himself is a gatekeeper or a doorkeeper for Sutala Loka, so that Bali Maharaj can constantly get the darshan of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. That is a benediction that is given to Bali Maharaj by Vamanadev, right? And he takes all these opulence. Vamanadev takes all these opulence and gives this back to Indra and demigods. So that's how when Lord performs pastimes, in this particular case, he satisfied both personalities. On one side, you have Indra, they lost all their opulence, but apparently it appears that Krishna came and cheated Bali Maharaj. It's not like that. But Krishna gave everything back to Indra, their opulence, and at the same time, he gave entire Sutala Loka to Bali Maharaj. And also, he became a personal doorkeeper to satisfy Bali Maharaj. That's what Bali Maharaj got. So that's why the Lord's pastimes are inconceivable. They're very, very inconceivable and very, very sweet. So one has to understand with proper philosophical understanding and from our scriptures. That's the reason Krishna says, um, Janma karma chime divyam. So my appearance and my activities are transcendental. One has to understand this. Those who understand, then they will not come back into this material world. Yeah. So yeah, that is the the summary of um, summary of the pastime of Lord Vamanadev. And at the end, after giving this whole thing to Bali Maharaj, Vamanadev asks Shukracharya one question, right? So Shukracharya, you stopped Bali Maharaj. You did not want Bali Maharaj to do this sacrifice. What is the contradiction? Why you did not want him to do it? What was wrong? What Bali, what did Bali Maharaj do wrong? What is that? Why did you stop him? Why didn't you stop? So, I mean, this is the highlight, what Shukracharya says at the end. He says, Krishna says this, Vamanadev says, O best of the Brahmanas, Shukracharya, please describe the fault or discrepancy in your disciple Bali Maharaj who engaged in performing sacrifices. This fault will be nullified when judged in the presence of qualified Brahmanas. In front of all the Brahmanas, Vamanadev asks Shukracharya, after all this pastime is done, he asks, what was the fault of Bali Maharaj? What is the discrepancy when he was doing this sacrifice? You did not want him to do it. Shukracharya says very profound words. My dear Lord, you are the enjoyer and lawgiver in all performances of sacrifice, and you are the Yajna Purusha, the person to whom all sacrifices are offered. If one has fully satisfied you, where is the chance of discrepancies or faults in his performances of sacrifice? So Shukracharya realizes that if one performs Supreme Lord, there is no fault of anybody. Right? If the goal is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam jnatvamam shanti mrichati. So Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. Krishna is saying, who is Bhokta? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. All the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. I am the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. I am the Bhokta. Bhokta means enjoyer. Any sacrifice that you are doing, who is the enjoyer? I am the enjoyer. Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the controller of all the worlds. Sarvaloka, all, not just earthly planet. He is the master of all the planetary systems. Entire spiritual and material world, he is the supreme master. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is the friend of every living entity. Supreme Lord. So here, if one satisfies Vishnu, then there is no fault. And also, Shukracharya says that there may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras and observing the regulative principles. Moreover, there may be discrepancies in regard to time, place, person, and paraphernalia. But when your Lordship's holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless. So in this age of Kali, performing any sacrifice, all these sacrifices, fire sacrifices, there are so many mantras. There are no qualified people to chant properly, mantras properly. But however, at the end of all this sacrifice, if you chant the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. After performing all these sacrifices, all these various mantras, even if there is fault while reciting these mantras, but if you chant the glories of the holy name, if you chant the holy names of the Lord, then everything becomes faultless, everything becomes nullified. So that is the power of chanting the holy names of the Lord. So that's what Shukracharya says at the end. Even though there may be discrepancies while doing all these sacrifices, but if one utters the holy name of the Lord, everything gets nullified. There is no sin at all. So that's what Shukracharya says. So this is the pastime of Vamanadev. At least couple of lessons that we can learn from this is that nothing belongs to us, everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. We just have to surrender our ego, surrender the feeling that it belongs to us. That's what we have to give up. And also, one has to understand that whatever the pastime the Supreme Lord does, ultimately it is omnibenevolent. One of the characteristics of the Lord is he is omnibenevolent, meaning whatever he does, any activity he does, is beneficial to the living entity. Whether he slaps or whether he gives a lap, both are beneficial for the living entity. Apparently, sometimes it feels that Krishna is not taking care of some living entities, but it is good for them. Ultimately, Krishna knows what is past, what is present, what is future. So he knows the best. So we simply have to depend on Lord Krishna, give the control of life to Lord Krishna, and just stay relaxed. He will take care of us. He will take us forward. So, and following the instructions of the spiritual master is very important. We get power to perform devotional service only by following the instructions of the spiritual master. But at the same time, one should not blindly accept everything. If the instruction doesn't take you closer to Krishna, then one can question the spiritual master. So, yeah, so these are some of the lessons and extraordinary pastime of Lord Vamana Dev. Lord Vamana Dev ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai. Any reflections, comments, thoughts, or